Hey there guys, what's up? Chris here with Palmer Aquatics for another video. You may remember me from such films as, hey, who's this weird fish guy? And why does that guy always talk about fish? Or this guy continuously does stupid videos on fish. No, I don't know. In particular though, today's video is actually on Seachem's Flourish line of aquarium fertilizers. I'm having an issue in one of my planted tanks with plants dying back. This all started by me noticing that I had an issue in one of my planted tanks. The plants were starting to die back, and this means that they start to lose coloration because they don't have enough food to consume. And that tank right there, let's take a closer look. Here's a closer look at the 40-gallon breeder. You can see the Amazon swords in there, and some of the leaves are starting to die back. I have cherry shrimp in this tank, and I'm super proud of this tank, and I need to keep it up on par, and that's where the fertilizer is going to come into play. So you can kind of start to see the leaves yellowing back, and it's called dying back. Even though the shrimp could feed on that, I don't want to lose my Amazon swords. But how do we know what kind of fertilizers to use? Because they're everywhere, there's tons of different brands. Like, what the heck is going on? We have Aquarium Co-op's liquid fertilizer, Easy Green. We have the DIY Osmocote. You've probably seen my previous videos where I do DIY root tabs. And there's tons of different brands. Let's make this simple. Plants consume fertilizer in two ways. Through the roots and through the water column. And it depends what kind of plant you have. That's going to depend on how it consumes it. So in this case, Amazon swords are the plants that are dying back for me. Those are heavy root feeders. So I need a root tab. And I've decided to give Seachem's root tabs a try, or Flourish Tabs they call them. Let's take a closer look at these. So here's what the Flourish Tabs look like. They're essentially root tabs. They just call them Flourish Tabs because it's kind of like their sales name, they call it. The Flourish line is kind of like their fertilizer line. So let's open up this bag and take a look at what they look like. It is essentially a dissolvable tablet. And it's a, ooh, those smell good. Fresh out of the Ziploc. They are a little dissolvable tablet of fertilizer, and the instructions say to insert into the substrate 4 to 6 inches away from the roots. I'm paraphrasing, guys. Let's do this. So like I said, this 40-gallon breeder has a dirt substrate capped with a little bit of sand and some gravel. As you can see, I have tons and tons of duckweed. If you have a planted tank and you can stop duckweed from getting into your tank, please do so, because you will spend hours netting this stuff out, or you can torch it, or however you want to get rid of it. I absolutely hate duckweed with a huge passion. I'm going to cast a spell upon this as I remove it. Hopefully it works, and yeah, guys. I need to add some root tabs to this tank because the Amazon swords are heavy root feeders, and they need some sort of food inside the substrate for the roots to feed on. Alright guys, we're ready to rock and roll. Taking a closer look here. Flourish Tabs, gravel bed supplement for the planted aquarium. And here's what they look like up close. Here is a chapstick for a size comparison. I'm about to jam these inside the gravel substrate, and like the instructions said, 4 to 6 inch span apart. And to be honest with you, what I'm probably going to do is maybe embed them closer to the root system so that I ensure, like if the plant root system is right here for the plant, I'm probably going to start jamming these around them just so that I know the roots can kind of spread out and feed on them. I mean, it's not rocket science, but yeah, let's dive into it. What sort of sucks when adding root tabs to your substrate is you can sometimes have some side effects. I was reading online that people were having issues with fish dying, or they had a huge rise in ammonia, and that's because we're adding a food for the plants in the substrate, and sometimes that food can leach up through the substrate into the water column. So one of the keys here is to make sure that your tabs are deep enough into the substrate. And it kind of sucks because I didn't want to go too deep because you don't know if your roots are that deep yet, but you want to go deep enough so that it doesn't leach into your water column. Hopefully that makes sense. It seems to be that there are more issues with do-it-yourself root tabs just because the gel, the gel capsules burn off at a different rate, or they dissolve essentially. Because when you're doing a do-it-yourself root tab, there's tons and tons of different types of fertilizer and osmocotes to choose from, and that can sometimes be an issue. Well guys, this went pretty smoothly. I think this is going to be a good turnout. Hopefully in a timely manner, my plants come back to life with these Seachem Flourish Tabs. And remember guys, I'll throw a link in the description box. If you're looking to get these, let me know in the comment section what you think of them, your experiences. Do you like these little Flourish Tabs, or do you like the DIY root tabs? Do you like Aquarium Co-op's tabs? And also, for non-stem feeders, Flourish Advance.